interpreter for California State Parks, and today I'm at Swimming Village, and we're kind of hopping on a little late. There's some technical difficulties, but we're here now, and today we're going to be talking about these right here. They're Porcupine Halos, and these are kind of there's different types of porcupine quill halos. There's ones that are 5 strands like this. You can kind of see. And they're bright yellow. And there's 20 strand halos, which are about this wide with porcupine quills. So you think of porcupine quills being these little tiny things that are on porcupines, but this can be a finished product of what they can look like. And so you braid all these little quills together.
Talk louder.
You braid the little quills together, and it turns into this. Where the process starts with these halos is you have sinew, which comes from deer or elk, and you use it to braid these together, which you have wolf moss, is where the color comes from. So these bright yellow down here on the bottom are ones that were dyed a little bit less than these ones. These ones were dyed a little bit longer, and they were sitting in the moss. And so you dye it with this moss, and it's kind of a bright yellow-green color. And so you put it in there, the porcupine quills in there with the moss, and you leave it in there. And then you braid it. And so these halos are used in jump dances, which are world renewal ceremonies, and the girls wear them on their head. So they would have their hair down and out of their face, and they would put this on the top of their head. And they also have different types of halos, which are dentalium, and they're little white shells that they can vary from being this long, this little, or super long. And those are also used in world renewal or flower dance, which is a coming of age ceremony for a young girl. And so these in particular have danced for many years in the jump dance, the world renewal ceremony. And they put these on the girls that stand and that are dancing. It differs from different villages, the way that they wear them. And so that's what these are used for. And dentalium halos can be worn in jump dance for girls that are backup girls, which are also fasting with the girls that are dancing, because there's only a certain amount of girls depending on the family or which dance it is. So the dentalium halos can be worn by the backup girls, and for a flower dance, they wear them when they come out as a young woman.
Where does dentalia come from?
It comes from the ocean. So they go out and they gather it in the ocean, and you can buy it here locally from Sea Around Us in Trinidad.
How long does it take to make one of these halos?
So I've actually started one of these halos for my family. These are princesses. The princess comes on our lives too. She's another native interpreter that talks about Yurok culture here at Sumig, and these are her grandmothers. So she's had these for a long time, and she's made these ones too. I think that's what she told me. And so I started one, I think about a year or 2 ago. I haven't finished it yet because I haven't had the time to, and we're only supposed to work on regalia at a certain time of the year. So I kind of put a pause in making mine, but some people can whip things out pretty quick, so I'd say they'd probably take maybe less than a week.
How many strands are these ones?
These are 5 strands, so we can get a better look at them. They kind of have a little wrap at the beginning, and that kind of holds it all together, and there's just a braid. It's a special type of braid.
Have you worn these before?
I've worn one of these in the world renewal ceremony. Princess has worn some too, and I've worn them at different times. I've participated in jump dance as one of the girls that are dancing for four different times. Twice for my family, or 3 times for my family up at Pequon, and once for Chapek here on the coast in the lagoon.
How do you not get stuck by the quills when you're making these?
You do. Princess has a story where she poked her hand and there's still a scar. She called it a battle wound. And I've gotten poked underneath my fingernail, which doesn't feel that great. But some people cut the tips off when they're making them. I choose to cut them off after, which is probably maybe not so smart on my part. But you can kind of see where the quills were. The quills are the darker spots. You can see there's little dark spots where the quills was, the top of the quills. And so we use, porcupines are significant to us because they protect our family, and we protect our family. So they have this mechanism to be able to hurt other things in order to save their family or take care of their family. So that's the importance of these, is that protection.
There's another question. Are the quills from the porcupines from porcupines that are already dead, like roadkill?
I'm not quite sure. Princess might have something to say about that from behind the camera. I haven't heard anything about how we gather these. I just know that we how to make them.
I know, I'm behind the camera, by the way, but I know that there are cases where people contact some of the native people after they've hit a porcupine on the road, or when they see one on the side of the road, and we're able to go get them and pick the quills from there. There's another question. Is it one long strand wrapped 5 times, or 5 strands connected with the wrap on top?
5 strands connected at the top. So even you see most of these are where they end. I showed the little black pieces. That's each and every porcupine quill. So depending on the size of the porcupine quill, you can kind of see in this one, these ones are short. There's the little endings. That's where they cut off the tip of it. And so they're 5 strands connected together, but they're each little tiny pieces of porcupine quill braided together.
There are some also that are just one long strand wrapped 5 times. So we'll give it a second for any more questions.
So today, me and Princess may be standing a little close. I come in close to the camera. That's because we live together. But here at the parks, we are here social distancing, wearing our masks, keeping 6 feet away from other people. In our instance, we live together, so kind of get close to each other, and we're around each other all the time in some of these videos. So we just want to acknowledge the fact that that we are following the guidelines.
There's one more question. Is it very delicate why it's in a cotton box?
It depends on who it is with their regalia, what they put their stuff in. But for me personally, these are living things. They have songs and they have a presence with us. So we keep them in places that keeps them safe, and they are delicate to us because we want to keep them for a long time. But not necessarily. I could pick it up, put it on my head. Sometimes,
Jump.
Yeah, jump like we do in the jump dance. They're not necessarily super delicate, but they're important to us, so we keep good care of them. So that's concluding my live, since that was our last question. And thank you for tuning in today on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. And we'll hope to see you next week and for the rest of the lives this week at 3 o'clock. Thanks for watching.